One question that sometimes comes up is whether to get a freedom to operate opinion. A freedom to operate opinion, at least in the context of intellectual property, sometimes called a green light letter, addresses the question, if your company is going to build a new product, will that product be infringing the intellectual property or the patents of another company? Do you risk patent litigation by moving forward on the product? If you're an investor contemplating funding a new venture, this might be a rational question to ask. But if you're already invested or you're a company that already has a product, getting a freedom to operate opinion may be the worst money you've ever spent on a lawyer. Hi, my name is Carr Ferrell. I'm a Silicon Valley patent attorney and longtime investor with the Band of Angels. Welcome back to my channel. So how does a freedom to operate opinion work? Well, we normally start with a written description of the product being manufactured or contemplated. The product description is then usually sent to a third-party search firm with domain expertise in the product. Now, the reason why patent attorneys typically commission outside search firms is that the responsibility of getting this right is really high. Often a lot is riding on these freedom to operate opinions, and we want to get the best possible search available. It's not unusual when commissioning these outside freedom to operate searches to actually hire two search firms to have redundant searches. Once the search results are returned, then we analyze the product with respect to each of the relevant patents that are identified. Now, it's important to understand that when we analyze the product with respect to a particular patent identified, the only thing in the patent that matters are the patent claims. We analyze the product with respect to each of the patent claims at the back of the identified patent. Now, the way we do this is we look at each individual claim and make sure that all of the elements of the claim are contained in the product. If the product is missing any single element that's listed in the claim, then at least for that claim, the product does not infringe. Every element listed in the claim must be present in the product for the product to infringe. Now, as you might imagine, this can be a pretty significant undertaking. If each patent search returns 20 patents, and each patent contains 20 separate patent claims, then each search will produce 400 claims that have to be analyzed. If you do two searches, for example, then that's 800 claims. Now, for most of the claims, typically, they can be easily rejected. We can easily identify that the claims just aren't relevant to the product that we're analyzing. But in nearly every patent search, there will be patent claims that just can't be easily rejected. They can't be rejected because they're so broad that it's difficult to know whether they cover the product elements or not. And sadly, in some cases, the patent claims are so poorly written that we just can't understand what they really mean. It's almost paradoxical, but it's certainly true that sometimes the most poorly written claims are the strongest. Those with grammatical informalities, with punctuation that's just goofed up, are sometimes so difficult to understand and construe that we don't know whether the patent claim covers our product or not. And with millions of active patents to be searched, identified, and analyzed, it's actually pretty rare to get a 100% clean bill of health on a freedom to operate analysis. So what does this all mean? Well, if you're an investor contemplating funding a new venture and the size of the investment can justify the cost of a freedom to operate opinion, then these can be quite valuable because they can provide guidance on competitors and competitive products and provide at least some indication of where potential landmines might lie with respect to your investment. However, as an investor, if you choose to go forward with a freedom to operate opinion, it's very important not to share the results of the opinion with your company, and probably not with other investors unless you're engaged in joint due diligence with those investors and have a clear understanding of how the due diligence results will be treated. Now, the reason you don't want to share your freedom to operate opinions with the operating company is that the results, any derogatory statements in that freedom to operate opinion, are going to be in the company's files forever. And very likely they'll be required to disclose those derogatory statements to future investors. The freedom to operate opinion should be treated by the investor as a trade secret. In fact, when you commission a freedom to operate opinion, you should hire your own counsel. Don't use the patent counsel that also works for the company. And be very careful about sharing the results. This freedom to operate trade secret information gives you a competitive advantage with respect to the investment that you've made and the future value of that investment vis-a-vis other investors. Now, a couple of investor practice pointers. You'll always want to ask your portfolio company if they have a freedom to operate opinion in their files. In some cases, the company's patent counsel will encourage the company to get a freedom to operate opinion done before reaching out for investment. This is totally a rookie mistake, and you should always be highly skeptical of freedom to operate opinions that are volunteered by company counsel. Sometimes, however, other investors who are doing due diligence on the company will commission their own FTOs, their own freedom to operate opinions, and will turn those freedom to operate opinions over to the company asking for explanations as to why they're infringing. Well, this is bad for the company, but it's great for you as an investor because now you can piggyback on the information that's been provided by another investor. If the company does have a freedom to operate opinion that was provided to them by another investor, don't push too hard on the company's counsel to explain what the derogatory information is in the opinion. It's better to hire your own counsel, have them analyze the information for you, and have your own counsel give you guidance as to the significance of that freedom to operate analysis on your own individual investment. And as a final reminder, never insist that the portfolio company conduct their own freedom to operate analysis. If you want to have a freedom to operate analysis performed, commission your own using your own patent counsel. Well, that's really all I have to say today about freedom to operate opinions. If you'd like to consult regarding your freedom to operate opinion or like some help with your patents in general, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at the email address below. In the meantime, I'll see you on the next video.